Okay, so surprisingly, I was actually asked to do a part two about the video that I did yesterday about slave mentality and generational curses. Um, I guess the biggest thing is that we have to start realizing that we are products of chattel slavery, and with being products of chattel slavery, a lot of our great grandparents never even had the opportunity to raise their children, right? So it's hard for a slave to raise her child if she doesn't have any control of it. Like, we have to keep in mind that in reality, a mother could have a child and her baby can be pulled from her breast while she's breastfeeding him or her to be sold off. So if I'm a product of chattel slavery, if I am considered produce and not a human, then there's no way possible for me to be able to raise my child. So then after we were no longer slaves, when we were free in 1865, we had no idea how things should be raised, how children should be raised, because we've been working out of slavery all of that time. I had touched on um, raise our sons. I mean, raise our daughters, love our sons. And the reason why I had touched on that was because you guys have to keep in mind that back in slavery, the mother's biggest thing was that she wanted to protect her son from not being lynched or not from being killed or being sold off. So she would make him real docile, and she would cater to him, and she would baby him. But when it came down to the girls, they made them stronger. You have to be tougher. You have to be all of these things. So then when we see our children today, and you see how moms be ready to push their daughters out of the house and go and live, versus boys usually 9 times out of 10 are allowed to come back to mama's house, can stay at mama's house as long as he likes, versus how the girl is treated. Also, when it comes down to raising our kids, I don't think we give their spirits enough credit. We be so stuck on the physical that we never take the time to focus on their spirits, to actually tell them how valuable they are, and to actually share their history with them. Because at the end of the day, who were they before they were slaves? You know? Another thing that I especially try to do with my son and with my students is I try to give them examples, because it's kind of hard to dream or to try to reach for something when it's nobody that looks like you. So I'm looking for black engineers. I'm looking for black authors. I'm looking for black computer techs. I'm looking for black mathematicians, because I have to be able to show them that it's attainable. But if they've never seen it before, it is extremely hard for them to be able to dream that they can do it. And at the end of the day, it's a lot of parents that don't know the history. So if you don't know the history, there is no way possible for you to be able to teach your children the history, which is where we come in at, especially my educated black people. This would be the time where we go back into our neighborhoods and we start going back to the schools that we went to, and we start speaking, so we can actually show our kids, even though they're not your kids, but actually show the kids in our community that whatever they reach for, it is obtainable. We have to start taking more pride in our conversations with our children. We have to start taking more pride in our history, because right now it's not working. And then it's a lot of children that don't know that whatever they dream about, whatever that they think about, it's obtainable. But it's hard to know that it's obtainable if they never get the opportunity to see it. We have to stop raising our children with the slave mentality and realize that what has been taught to us was being raised as chattel slaves that could not raise their children. Their children were property. We have to do better. We have to start taking initiative to make sure our kids have what they need.